Welcome to the Stimson Center. I'm Pam Kennedy, a research analyst with our East Asia program, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to have a conversation about the economic security challenges facing Taiwan from your perspective, the industry perspective. Today we have David Wang, the CEO of Taiwania Capital. To his left is Alan Chu, the president of Pegatron USA, and across from me is Cheney Hope, the co-founder and director of the board of Advantech. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction.
So as we all know, economic security is a very important part of national security, and it covers a range of issues from supply chain resiliency and investment screenings to protection of core technologies. And in Taiwan, there have been efforts in recent years to bolster economic security. So from your perspective, in industries that are related to the technology sectors, why is economic security important for Taiwan? Cheney?
Okay. I think in the past 30 years, because of the globalization, so the old economic quite orderly, I could say, is a kind of a separation of work together. So say, for example, that you make the assembly and you design for the core key component, and then some country put it together. But during the because of the COVID-19 to cause the supply chain broken, and also because of the trade deficit between U.S. and China. So that caused the turbulence. So it is the world become so diverse. So in the age of decentralization, I think the economic security is more important. So in the past, people only think about the productivity. So to make the product at the cheapest, lower cost, lower level, or so you don't worry about the security. But because of COVID-19 and the U.S.-China trade deficit, so people start to understand sometimes security is more important than productivity. And as you know, Taiwan, over the past 30 years, China become the world factory. And not only Taiwan, Korean, Japan, US, almost most of the industrial move their factory into China. So it caused some issue. So we need to reconsider the supply chain resilience. And also sometimes you need to think about the core technology secret. So make sure that you don't leakage the message, the technology secret to your competitor or to someone they don't have the same value with you. So it becomes a very complicated situation.
The pandemic has really clarified why supply chain diversification and resilience is so important for Taiwan.
Yes, okay.
Alan, do you?
Yeah, I think Mr. Hall said it very well, and I think I'm looking at this from a different perspective, because Taiwan is politically isolated, so. The economy is the only area that Taiwan can rise and shine, and that's why I believe a strong economy in Taiwan would create some level of deterrence of preventing Taiwan from getting involved in the war, because China is also a part of this. The economy ecosystem. So if they destroy Taiwan, then it would hurt them as well. So it's just like shooting themselves in the foot. So, and And another thing is because Taiwan economy is also intertwined with the global economy, and that's why it's utterly important that we keep this economy going strong. And without the economic security, then actually it would hurt the economy and make Taiwan prone to the political influence from China, and probably the making Taiwan easier for China to swallow, because once Taiwan is its capability, its economy scale is shrinking down, then perhaps that would be the time they would take over Taiwan. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, so the economic security provides a buffer for Taiwan's national security. What are your thoughts?
Yes, I think Taiwan already play an essential role in the world economy, especially the supply chain. For instance, the ICT, the information technology, and also IC design or semiconductor, and beyond. There are so many advanced manufacturing capability already play a key role in the entire supply chain. I don't think that even Taiwan or the Western world can afford to not include Taiwan in the entire supply chain. So, but Taiwan also have its economy shortcoming. For instance, we still rely on a lot of the export-oriented economy. Our domestic market is not big enough, so we still rely on a lot of. To me, I think it's too much on mainland China, because we still account for about 23% of our export. So I think that part for the economy security, we need to make sure that we have the long-term strategy and have a good alliance with the right camp, a right strategic partner. For instance, United States or other, we share this common value, alliance together, including Japan, including Australia, including New Zealand. That we need to build up that kind of relationship or partnership to move forward, to make sure that our economy is secured.
You bring up several great points that Taiwan has such a strong and important trade relationship with mainland China, and it does create a dependency for Taiwan, but likewise, isn't China partially dependent on Taiwan's own high technology sectors, especially like semiconductors?
Yes.
How does that influence the role that industry can play in economic security?
I think Taiwan export a lot of good to China, but that's not for the China market. It's because many Taiwanese company and the U.S. company has the manufacturing in China, so they buy the key component from Taiwan and assemble it in China, and then ship to the other world, not only for China. So among the 40% of the good, I think half of that is semiconductor and computer component. And among that, I think 70% or 80% are actually shipped to the company like a Foxconn or Compaq, or the Taiwanese manufacturing and the U.S. manufacturing. So actually, we are not rely on China market too much. I would say it's only 20%. So China is quite much. But if you look at the number, it's big, but actually, it's not. But in the other way, you see, without Taiwan high-tech supply chain like a semiconductor or computer, I think China's economic also, I think we're also in trouble. So it's better that everyone understand the war is threat. So we better understand that we should live peacefully, not try to put someone as your enemy. It's not good for the peace of the world. And because of that, Taiwan in the past few years is really seeking for diverse our supply chain globally. So there are three parts. Some of the Taiwanese manufacturing try to move back their operation to Taiwan. And some of the labor-intensive assembly company, they try to diverse to Southern Asia or even India for manufacturing.
Under the new southbound policy.
Yes,
similar.
our Southern policy. And according to a survey, only 16% of the Taiwanese manufacturing consider to continue in China. And 3 to 5% consider move to US. But I think this number is underestimated. I believe more and more Taiwanese company will consider US as especially for the high tech industry. They were coming to US, for example, the EV vehicle, electric vehicle, or biotech, or the charger, the EV car charger, under the infrastructure construction of US. So we see a lot of opportunity for Taiwanese company to come into US.
These
Yeah.
are all industries that are becoming increasingly important. As David mentioned, so many countries around the world are concerned with how to maintain these strong high-tech supply chain networks with Taiwan. What are your perspectives?
Yeah, I think resiliency is the key word here because it's like networking. Networking backup system. You cannot back up the whole thing on a same location. So the same thing with supply chain resiliency. And I like to comment on the Mr. Ho's said about different geographical locations production, and actually that's what most of the companies in Taiwan are doing. For example, we go from China-centric production to spreading out to back to Taiwan or spreading out to Southeast Asia like Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, or Philippines. And now in North America, for example, I personally knew that there are several companies expanding their factories in North America in order to support the U.S. EV industry. That means because it used to be during COVID-19, you know that the lots of shipment are stuck at the port, and that becomes a critical point because without those parts, they can't make any more cars. So we need to go from long haul shipping to short haul, and that's why, like in EV industry, many companies are expanding their existing factories in North America to support the EV industry. And this is just the first step. I believe in the future, more and more would be like this way, even though the initial cost will be higher, but you have to have some balance between the cost and the reliability, security of your supply chain. And that's what even our customer agree on that. Sometimes the security of the supply chain, reliability of the supply chain is more important than the cost of the components.
For semiconductor, I would say, China not just need Taiwan. Whatever they want to do is to hire away some of the talent, some of the sometimes the technology secret. Try to through the high salary and through the state-owned, government-owned enterprise to hire our talent, and even to steal the IP, rights. So that's the part that Taiwan really need to concern and also to protect. So that's why we also have some legislation this year to prevent that from happening. Because semiconductor actually is at the heart of a lot of innovation. The core technology is from semiconductor. So that part of Taiwan is really need to have to segregate, some of the advanced technology and some of the more advanced technology that we just cannot let China grab it, unfairly. What I'm saying is they try to, deal the intellectual property. And that part is actually the economy it's becoming the major economic, security issue. Because we want to keep, the core and the hard tech in Taiwan to have a competitive advantage or edge, for the long term.
Yeah.
So I have one comment about the semiconductor. I think recently I noticed that no matter American or European or Japan try to build up their own semiconductor industry as a strategic item, supply chain. So in that part, I think Taiwan can help because over the past 20 to 30 years, Taiwan accumulated the most talent on semiconductor. So if US or European or Japan want to develop their semiconductor infrastructure, then I think they should also hire the talent from Taiwan.
Thank you so much for sharing your perspectives. These issues are so complex. There are so many nuances, and I've certainly learned a lot today. I think everyone who watches this video will too. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angela.